it's a big show. Oh, it's a big bad show tonight. Oh, baby, come on.
Oh, yeah, it's the big show. I am Ralph Williams, and it's great to be here today. I'm by myself today. Leo Haggerty has other obligations, so he was unable to make it to this morning's show. He's doing a fundraiser somewhere in Tampa, which is great. Also, speaking of Tampa, don't forget tonight at 8 p.m. on Peacock, the Royal Rumble, WWE's Royal Rumble, one of the better pay-per-views of the year for the WWE. Also, don't forget every Saturday here at 10:30 a.m. on the YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Twitter X platforms is Telling It Like It Is with me, Ralph Williams, Leo Haggerty. All right, we're in the First Line Consulting Services Studios, 1-877-926-6982. And we have a lot to talk about today. We have NFL coaching hires. We have a bunch of other stuff going on today as well. And college football. We're going to talk a little later about some college football as well. All right. So when we come back right after these words, we're going to talk about the college football coaching right after these words. Seven is the number to call for low-cost advertising with RW Media Productions. You get Sports Corner Radio on Beaver County Radio. You get 4 podcasts. You also get 3 national shows on Blog Talk Radio. All that for one low price. That number again, 412-545-4317, sponsorship advertising. Let me talk to you here today about Mata Heating and Air Conditioning. 724-201-0500. Mata Heating and Air Conditioning. They have the best technicians to handle your furnace, air conditioner, UV lighting, snow melt, much, much more. Call them today, 724-201-0500. Mata Heating and Air Conditioning. You can also catch them on Facebook at Mata Heating and Air Conditioning. Mata, you oughta call Mata Heating and Air Conditioning. Okay, we're back here on Telling It Like It Is. I'm Ralph Williams, and it's great to be here today, as I mentioned earlier. First Line Consulting Services Studios, 1-877-926-6982 is the number to call if you're interested in getting yourself a website put up, also managed, and they will upload all your videos. One low monthly price, 1-877-926-6982. All right, today, everybody, we have several things to talk about today, and let's start off with the playoffs and the championship games. We have Detroit taking on, in the NFC, Detroit taking on the 49ers. We have Kansas City taking on the Ravens. All right, comment section's wide open. Who do you want in this game? Who do you think's going to Super Bowl? And why do you think they deserve, or why do you think they're going to do it? Okay. Well, I'm going to tell you this much. I think Kansas City has better coaching. I think Kansas City has a better quarterback. If Kansas City can hold Baltimore down and they can blitz Lamar Jackson and force him to get out of the pocket a little bit, he stinks at passing when he's out of the pocket. But the one problem here with Kansas City is what the Ravens is that Kansas City will have is the fact that they're going to have to contain Lamar Jackson. So I hope that Kansas City's defensive coordinator has enough sense to put in there a spy to just specifically work with and look at Lamar Jackson. Follow him everywhere he's going to go. That is the best way to contain Lamar Jackson. Also, there has to be mistake-free football. Kansas City can't afford to make boneheaded mistakes, penalties. You can't beat yourself. Baltimore's going to come out to fight. It's their home game. It's the first time they've hosted a home AFC championship game. So they're going to make the best of it here. And I think what's going to happen is I believe that Kansas City can win this game, but it's going to be a dogfight. It's going to be a real challenging, entertaining game. And I think that the Ravens are not good enough, I don't think, to really win today. I think Kansas City's going to come out explosive. They're going to run the ball. They're going to pass. Mahomes is going to do his thing like he always does. And if the defense can contain Lamar Jackson, force him to make bad throws, things like that, I think that Kansas City can win this game. And we need to get rid of the Taylor Swift distraction. I find her as a distraction. A lot of you out there think, oh, it's entertaining. Oh, Taylor Swift's here. Oh, it's Travis Kelsey's girlfriend. You know what? To me, it's a distraction. And I think Andy Reid should have nipped that in the butt to begin with. But no, as always, we're not looking at a distraction. We're looking at money because Taylor Swift does draw or attract people now to the Kansas City Chiefs. You have people who are here, with the Kansas City Chiefs now that probably never even heard of the Kansas City Chiefs. Okay, and you got women participating in football, which some do and some don't. Okay, but you've got more of a woman audience, more of a younger audience now participating in the NFL strictly because of Taylor Swift. But I find it a distraction, and I think, and I hope that Kansas City doesn't turn it into one. All right. You're watching Telling It Like It Is every Saturday morning here at 10:30 a.m. here on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Twitter X platforms. Ralph Williams by himself today. Leo Haggerty's doing a fundraiser uh, this morning down in Tampa, so he's not able to join us this morning. All right. Next, we have Detroit versus the 49ers. All right, I know San Francisco's been there and done it. San Francisco's been to the Super Bowl. Brock Purdy deserves it because Brock Purdy's been playing well. Brock Purdy this, Brock Purdy that. Christian McCaffrey needs a Super Bowl. He's been in the league for a little while, and he hasn't. He's had some bad luck in Carolina. Okay, so here we are now. This is where we are with San Francisco. But don't sell out Detroit. And let me tell you why. Because Detroit will beat you. Dan Campbell has that team so fired up. Dan Campbell's like another Bill Cowher. He's a rough kind of guy, and he has some great coordinators. Aaron Glenn is his defensive coordinator. Ben Johnson, who's about to leave to go to the Washington Commanders. Okay, he's their offensive coordinator. All right. He has some good coaches, and so does Kyle Shanahan. And I'm not saying San Francisco doesn't have it, they do. Steve Wilkes is their defensive coordinator, former interim coach with Carolina last year, which I thought he should have actually got that job ahead of Frank Reich for what he did a few years back, but that's fine. Now Steve Wilkes is down in San Francisco, and the defense is playing well. It's going to be another dogfight. You have two evenly matched teams that both have good defenses and great offenses, and they also have good coaches. But I think Dan Campbell's team can pull this off, and I would like to see the Bobby Lane curse go bye-byes and have the Detroit Lions in the Super Bowl. You know what that would do for Detroit? Although they're hosting the Super Bowl at Ford Field, their home team's going to be there. Just like Tampa played, at Raymond James Stadium for their home game when they played in the in the Super Bowl. All right. So I think Detroit can take this, but it's good. Again, it's going to be another dogfight. Now, first game, the AFC game, I think Kansas City's going to win. It's going to be 20-17. And I think the same thing with the Detroit Lions and the San Francisco 49ers as well. Excuse me. Okay. All right. So that's my telling it like it is on these games for tomorrow. One of them, the first game is going to be the AFC game, and that is, or no, the NFC game I think is first at 3:00, and then the AFC game is at 6. Okay, weird times for some games, but the first one might not even be over yet. Enough time to watch the second one. You might have to miss some of the second one, or just flip it back and forth, on your channels. All right. All right. That is telling it like it is today. I'm Ralph Williams by myself today. Leo's not with me today. He is doing a fundraiser. When we come back after these messages, we're going to talk more about some coaching in the NFL, college football coaching that was made, and a whole lot more all coming right up. Stay right here.
We talked to you today about the original hometown pizza in Moon Township, right on University Boulevard. They have some of the best pizza you'll ever have. 412-264-4444. Call for takeout, delivery, or eat in. Go to the original hometown pizza today. Mention my name, Ralph Williams, and you will get a discount on your bill. Hometown Pizza, Moon Township, some of the best of the original hometown pizza. Hello, Ralph Williams here to talk to you today about Sleep Pittsburgh 8th Avenue Homestead for the best selection of affordable mattresses, day beds, lift chairs, futons, and more. Check out sleeppittsburgh.com for their inventory or call 412-462-7858. They also offer no credit check financing and a whole lot more. Sleep Pittsburgh for the best sleep tonight.
All right, we're back here at Telling It Like It Is. We're here every single Saturday morning on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Twitter X platforms. I want to thank those who are watching this morning. Call your friend, call your cousin, get them here next week. Well, if one person asks another, we'll double what we have today. Okay, so there you are. All right, Dave Canales is hired as the new coach for the Carolina Panthers. You know, I get the picture here that Carolina wants to, how they say it, they want to, what's the word I'm looking for? They want to be able to help Bryce Young. So they go and they hire Dave Canales. I was actually quite surprised that Dave Canales actually took this job. The reason I say that is nothing against the guy, but he was with Seattle all this time and he fixed Geno Smith. And you know, quarterback coaches now, or a lot of them are becoming head coaches because quarterback is the most important thing or the most important player that drives the offensive ship. Okay? If you don't have a good quarterback or two good lines of scrimmages, you can forget it. Game's over. Okay? There's a lot of components involved in having a good football team. Carolina wants to win again. Dave Tepper got egg on his face. He's owed $70 million to two coaches, and he had to go the economical way. The only way to do it was to bring in Dave Canales. Now, Dave Canales did a really good job with Baker Mayfield this year. Tampa Bay went 9-8, Baker Mayfield, and they ended up in the divisional round. Okay? Where they lost to Detroit. They went from the wild card to the divisional round. I knew it was coming. I knew Detroit was more powerful and a better football team than Tampa. But at least Tampa gave some kind of an effort. And they saved, all right, their head coach's job, Todd Bowles. They saved his job. Because Todd Bowles was walking on eggshells at the beginning of the season. And I think that if they didn't make the playoffs, like Peter Blake and Leo Haggerty and several others from Amped Up Sports and all the other pundits down there in Tampa all said, was that Todd Bowles could get fired if they didn't go to the playoffs. So they went to the playoffs, so now Todd Bowles is still the coach there. And now he's going to have to, for a second time, find himself another offensive coordinator. I didn't expect Dave Canales to take this job. I wouldn't coach for Carolina if you gave it to me for free and said, I'll pay you double. No, I'm done. Okay. All right. Now, the rumor I'm hearing now is that when the AFC or the NFC championship game is over, Ben Johnson is going to be the new coach for the Washington Commanders. What do you think of this? Are you a Commanders fan? Why didn't Washington just bump up Eric Bieniemy? What I want to know is, and Scott Morganroth brought this point out yesterday on our External Bum show on Blog Talk Radio every Friday morning at 10:30 a.m., the External Bum show. It's on Blog Talk Radio, 563-999-3740. It's me, Ralph Williams, your host, Scott Morganroth, JT Toth. And sometimes we have Leo Haggerty on. Okay? But tell me something. Where's Eric Bieniemy here? How come he hasn't interviewed for any jobs? Now, I heard a story the last couple of times that he's interviewed. It was a bad interview. Okay, I guess maybe he wants too much. Maybe he wants too much money or too much power. Okay, some people have decided that they're going to, want all the power in the world. I don't know, but all I know is Eric Bieniemy's sitting out there, and I don't know why some teams aren't signing him as an offensive coordinator. Why are teams not looking at him as head coach? I would have scooped him up in a second if I was the Steelers, but I'm not the Steelers. We'll talk about them as well today. All right. Ben Johnson will be the new head coach at the Commanders as soon as whatever happens today happens. If they go to the Super Bowl, it'll be after the Super Bowl. Okay. Ben Johnson, offensive coordinator for the Lions, will be the new head coach at the Commanders. Now let's go down south a little bit here and let's talk about Atlanta. Atlanta, and I'm trying to get Clayton Trudor, who's he's an author of a book about Atlanta sports and also about Boston sports. He's a sports author, writes some books, but he covers the Atlanta Falcons and Atlanta sports team. So I want to get him on either my radio show on Tuesday, which is Sports Corner Radio Show, 99.3 FM, 1230 AM WBVP, Beaver County Radio. All right. Also, you can catch my radio show live on YouTube, Facebook, on Beaver County Radio's YouTube, Facebook channels. All right. And also live on their website. You can listen to it there too. And I know on the app and on www.rwmedia.org. All right. I want to know why they hired Raheem Morris. You had an opportunity to get Harbaugh. You had an opportunity to get Bill Belichick, but you turned both of them down, and you signed Raheem Morris to be your new head coach. Nothing against Raheem Morris. He was a coach at Tampa. He filled in when Gruden or somebody got fired, and he ended up being the head coach. Okay. Great defensive mind. Was with the Rams for a little bit. He was with Detroit, I think, and a couple other teams. Okay. So he's a good defensive coach, and I hear he's a great at working with the players, which is a good thing. But I have a problem with this hire. You had an opportunity to get Bill Belichick, but you wouldn't get what he wanted. Why? A guy like this that wants power, fine, give him the power. Do you know what Bill Belichick could do for the Atlanta Falcons, just like Dan Reeves did? Remember Dan Reeves was starting to fall down in Denver? They hired Gary Kubiak. They hired John Fox. Denver hasn't been the same since. All right. So now Atlanta is going to hire Raheem Morris instead of Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick could take you to the Super Bowl. He could put butts in the seats. Jim Harbaugh could put butts in the seats. Every game in Atlanta would sell out because you have a quality coach with a name that's going to bring you some fans to the game, regardless of win, lose, or draw. The fans will show up if Bill Belichick is your coach. But you didn't want to give him the power. And Jim Harbaugh the same way. Here's two guys that have won. Jim Harbaugh took 49ers to the Super Bowl when he was their coach, and he just took Michigan to the national championship. Why? I don't get this. Atlanta, I don't get it at all. And it's not like they don't have the money there. To the Blank family, money isn't everything. It's nothing. Okay? Somebody, please, in Atlanta, tell me why they hired Raheem Morris. Okay? Again, I got nothing against Raheem Morris. Good for him. I'm glad. But when you interview two quality coaches and you told that were once coaches, and you turn them away, I hope Raheem Morris would have got another job, but not with Atlanta. Okay? And nowadays, it's all about the young coaches. Nobody wants these older guys. Pete Carroll's still sitting out there. He stepped down in Seattle. I'm here. He still wants a coach. He's 70 years old. Bill Belichick's in his, I think, 70 years old. Okay. I'm hearing Ron Rivera's up for defensive coordinator's position someplace. Guess where? Okay. Philadelphia. Oh, I'm sorry. Philly hired Vic Fangio. Ron Rivera's up for a couple different defensive coordinator jobs. Vic Fangio's up in Philly. And Philly is going to have a really good team next year because guess who their offensive coordinator could be? They're looking at Cliff Kingsbury. And if Kingsbury takes that job, the Eagles could go to the Super Bowl again. All right. Jeffrey Lurie, the owner, will get what he wants. All right. That's telling it like it is my way today. All right. What's your thoughts on these coaching moves? Comments section, mailbag wide open here. Mailbag, let me see here. Bob from Beaver Falls, PA. Bob, thank you. I know you're probably listening to my radio show. He said, Ralph, you have a point there. Why didn't Bill Belichick get a job there? Why was he not simply there? All right. I mean, the man's there. I wouldn't interview anybody else. Give him his power. Give him what he wants. He wanted his own GM, I heard. I heard he wanted total control over the players and personnel and all that. Maybe it was too much. Sometimes you can't have your cake and eat it too. But I don't blame Bill Belichick because you know why? He's been there and done it. And he'll do it again somewhere else. We will find out. All right, when we come back from this break, some more about the coaching in the NFL and the college coaching decision that was just made. I'm not going to tell you who, but you'll find out in a few right after this.
You drive a dirty car. Why? You need to have your car detailed and detailed by professionals at P6 Auto Detailing, New Kensington, Pennsylvania. Call today, 412-965-6578. P6 Auto Detailing. They are the professionals at detailing cars. That number again, 412-965-6578. P6 Auto Detailing in New Kensington. Today is your lucky day. I'm here to talk to you today about Hillcrest Farm, Richmond, Ohio, 45 minutes from downtown Pittsburgh, right up the hill from Steubenville, Ohio. Look, Hillcrest Farm, Richmond, Ohio has the best hay grain beef around, and they have some great package deals like the ground beef box for $95 for 20 pounds of ground beef. You can reach them at 740-346-5442, 740-632-2894. Email them at hillcrestfarmsohio@gmail.com or check out their website at www.hillcrestfarmsohio.com or on their Facebook page at Hillcrest Farm. Some of the best hay grain beef around and right up the hill from Steubenville, Ohio. Hillcrest Farm in Richmond, Ohio has the best hay grain beef around. Hillcrest Farm, Richmond, Ohio.
All right, we're back here at the Telling It Like It Is. I'm Ralph Williams. And I got to tell you today, there's been a coaching move in college football. Sharon Moore, who was the interim coach while Jim Harbaugh was serving a suspension for the Michigan Wolverines, he is now the official head coach. All right. And I wouldn't doubt it if the players went and rallied for him, and that's fine. Okay. All right. Also, we have Dan Quinn. Reports are out there that he may be the front runner for the Seattle job. You have Brian Callahan, who's been hired at Tennessee, might be bringing his father with him. Bill Callahan, a great offensive line coach. Okay. Also was the head coach at the when they were the Jokeland Raiders. Now they're the Las Vegas Raiders, who, of course, also officially signed Antonio Pierce to be their head coach. He's looking at Cliff Kingsbury. He's looking at Ron Rivera. When you're a new rookie head coach, you have to surround yourself with some good assistants. You can't bring in guys who basically, as Mike Tomlin would say, guys. Can't bring in guys who are bums. You got to bring in some people with some coaching experience that'll help you, like Mike Tomlin did. The only difference is Mike Tomlin has yes men. And it looks like Gerard Johnson could be being our offensive coordinator, because I haven't heard that they've interviewed anybody else. Mike Tomlin has lied to us again for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And what I mean by lying is the fact that he said that, oh, well, we're gonna look for somebody with some big time NFL experience. We're gonna go outside the box. That's fine. Go outside the box. That's a great thing, but don't hire somebody like Gerard Johnson. I said the Steelers should sign Arthur Smith, and they should bring in Mark Whipple, who used to be the offensive coordinator at the University of Pittsburgh and at Nebraska. Okay. And he was the head coach at the UMass, and he was Ben Roethlisberger's quarterbacks coach. Great at working with Kenny Pickett. Why not bring him in as an offensive assistant? Doesn't have to be the offensive coordinator. You can bring him in as an offensive assistant. Glenn Thomas, one of our offensive assistants, has left to go to Nebraska to work with Matt Rule. Okay. Next, we have the LA Chargers, who just hired Jim Harbaugh as their new head coach. What are your thoughts on this? Jim Harbaugh's in the NFL again, and this time it's with the LA Chargers, and he's going to do well there. Brian Callahan might do okay with the Titans. Mike Vrabel's still sitting out there. All right. I would bring in Mike Vrabel to be a defensive assistant and work with the defense here, because Terrell Austin just signed a new 2-year contract, and he stinks as our defensive coordinator for the Steelers. It's horrible. Okay. Stinks. All right. How about the Houston Texans this year? How about them? Rookie coach taking them to the playoffs, D'Amico Ryans. Isn't that interesting, huh? What's going to happen up at a lot of questions this year in the offseason for many NFL teams. What kind of leash is Robert Saleh on up in New York? I heard he was supposed to get fired. Nick Sirianni was told to fire his coordinators. He fired them all. Okay. Coaching shuffle. It's here. It's here, folks. It's here for the NFL for the taking. Coaches going everywhere. But Mike Vrabel's still sitting out there. That's got me puzzled. Why? Why is he still sitting out there? All right. And the Steelers, on the other hand, they better get an offensive coordinator. They better get one fast, because guess what? The scouting combine's coming up. The Senior Bowl, the East-West Shrine game, I think, is today or tomorrow. Okay? When you need to hire an offensive assistant, I know you want to do your due diligence, but you need to hire him quickly, because you got all this coming up that leads up to the NFL draft in April. All right. Don't forget Wednesday nights, our new sports show, Smoking Jim Frazier, myself. It's called Pittsburgh Sports Talk. But this week we have a nice national panel on with us from Amped Up Sports. I got Leo Haggerty. I got Rick Moore. I got Dan Alexander, and I got Mike Sisak. Well, they're all going to be on. We're going to have a nice roundtable discussion on Pittsburgh Sports Talk about the Super Bowl, about the NFL teams, about who got hired here and where. It's going to be a great national discussion. To listen to the show every Wednesday night, 7 p.m., you got to go on Block Talk Radio, 563-999-37. What? Yeah. Vrabel works total roster control. Well, maybe that's the case with him, too. I think a lot of these teams, Eric, thank you for watching, by the way. All right. I think a lot of these people, a lot of these teams, they don't want to play around with that. And you give somebody full control like that, you can't fire them. You can. All right. You got to pay them more money, and it's not right. Have a general manager structure, have a head coach, have an assistant general manager, have a talent scout. Okay. I think the teams now, as Eric said here, with Vrabel and with Belichick, I think these teams now are straying away from that stuff. And I don't blame them. But Pittsburgh Sports Talk is on every Wednesday at 7 p.m. on Blog Talk Radio, 563-999-3740. We're going to have a nice roundtable guest list this week. Don't forget to tune in. Call your friend, call your cousin, call somebody, get them on. Also, you can chat at blogtalkradio.com. And you have to become a listening subscriber. And what you do is you get on their website and it'll say a listening subscriber, and you just push that little icon and boom, you're in. You're subscribed. Okay? It's that simple. No excuse not to listen on Wednesday nights. Don't forget on Tuesday, Beaver County Radio, Sports Corner Radio Show, Ralph Williams, Smoking Jim Frazier. Our guest this week will be Matt Venzel. He's going to be on to talk about the Penguins. I'm working on some other guests as well. Oh, I'm sorry. Wait, that's February 6th. Wow. I'm jumping shows already. This Tuesday, we're doing a Pirate special. I have John Parado in the studio, and I'm working on some other guests. Possibly Dave Finoli and Chris Fletcher from the Draft 412, soon to be Draft Nation. All right. They're authors. They've done many Pittsburgh books that they've put out there. One of their books happens to be at the John Hines History Center in the Strip District of Pittsburgh. So if you're ever in Pittsburgh, go down there and visit and look for Dave Finoli, Chris Fletcher's book in there. All right. Monday, 2 shows on Monday. Ralph's Opinion every Monday at 11 a.m. We have a lot to talk about this Monday. All right. Ralph's Opinion, Blog Talk Radio, 563-999-3740, Monday at 11 a.m. Archive version on blogtalkradio.com/RW Media. And go right into where RW Media is, scroll down to Ralph's Opinion, and you can watch an archive show if you wish. But I'll be on this Monday live. I look forward to you being part of the program and all my programs. And then Monday night at 7 p.m., wow, do we have a show for you, Bill Canada and I, the way we see it. 7 p.m. Monday night, the way we see it. Okay. RW Media Productions. And you heard the spot earlier. We do sponsorship advertising if you have a business and you need some help with your business. Call 412-545-4317 or email ralphwilliams737@gmail.com as our mailbag also. All right. Susie in North Huntington says, Ralph, enjoy the show. Excuse me, Ralph, enjoy the show. It's great to see you on as always. Thank you, Susie. That's the mailbag. All right. So what's your thoughts on this NFL coaching carousel and the games tomorrow? Do you have a score? Who do you think is going to win? Who's going to the Super Bowl? I think it's Detroit and Kansas City. I'd like to see that. Or the 49ers in Kansas City, and Kansas City beat them. I don't want the 49ers to get another trophy because I believe they will match or overdo the Steelers. Steelers should have more trophies than what we have, but that's another conversation for another day. All right. All right, some great sponsorship advertising here with RW Media Productions. The reason I say that is because it is true. We don't charge thousands of dollars for commercials. We don't put you in the hole. You don't have to take out a loan. Okay. So, all right. Well, thank you for being part of the show this morning. I'm Ralph Williams. Leo Haggerty will be back with me next week. I got a couple more spots for you, and we'll close out with a good song. Have yourself a great one. Talk to you again next week here for Telling It Like It Is. Be safe.
Ralph Williams here today to let you know that I am handicapped. I'm in a wheelchair, and I will not deny it. But I've had some recent inconveniences lately. So you know what I did? I went on and I reached out to foodandtravelmobility.com. foldandtravelmobility.com has some of the best folding power wheelchairs. Look, do you not go to certain events because you can't get there or you can't make it because you need a folding power wheelchair to put in your vehicle? Well, guess what? foldandtravelmobility.com has the right model for you. Get in touch with them today. foldandtravelmobility.com. Get on the phone, 1-877-GOTFOLD, foldandtravelmobility.com, 1-877-GOTFOLD. Let the experts help you get into a folding power wheelchair. Don't be sad. Be glad. Let your life get back in order. foldandtravelmobility.com. Draft412.com is a website that provides you with all of the best information about any draft, NHL, Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, any kind of draft. 412.com has an e-magazine delivered to your inbox for $9 a month. And also they give you all the skinny and on all the athletes and also podcasts. Draft412.com.